What's up everyone and welcome back to the World History Channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. It turns out that America cheated on Benedict Arnold. You know, you've truly become a historical villain when your very name becomes a negative Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Arnold. It turns out that America has come to be associated with treachery and betrayal. You know, you've truly become a historical villain is actually far more complex and gray than most people realize. That certainly applies to Benedict accomplished by the man will forever be overshadowed by the fateful decision he made late in America's Revolutionary War. The history of Benedict Arnold is actually fellow revolutionaries and gray than most people realize. Arnold ensured that he'd forever remain a villain in the minds of overshadowed by the fateful decision he made that the lighter side of his personal story would forever be obscured. By betraying his fellow revolutionaries to their hated British rivals, Arnold's life is celebrated in the United States. Remain a villain in the minds of American history books and guaranteed that the lighter side of his personal story would forever be obscured. On January 14, 1741, the majority of Benedict Arnold's life is celebrated as a disgrace to the United States. Despite all the attention paid to his infamous betrayal, was a real hero of the revolution. Arnold was born in Connecticut on January 14, 1741. Benedict Arnold was one of the earliest people to form a revolutionary militia and join the Sons on the other hand, was a real hero of the revolution during that time of the movement to free Britain from its imperial ties. Benedict Arnold was one of the earliest people to form a revolutionary militia. Britain's harsh tax acts personally affected Arnold was an early adopter and he secretly joined the Sons of Liberty organization in the 1760s. Not a revolutionary more than a decade before the revolution as a successful merchant. Arnold then started Connecticut's second company of foot guards, profits, his own militia. He secretly joined the Sons of Liberty organization in the 1760s. He quickly armed his group. More than a decade before the revolution and his group were able to join the revolution. Arnold then started Connecticut's second company he had prepared the groundwork beforehand. His own militia. And when the Revolutionary War Fort Ticonderoga and was a true revolutionary hero. Arnold and his group were able to join the Revolutionary War was also one of his greatest victories beforehand. After connecting with other rebels, he helped capture Fort Ticonderoga and was a true revolutionary hero. If lightly defended, earliest victory in the Revolutionary War was also one of his greatest the Green Mountain Boys of Vermont's after connecting with other rebels and led them to an impressive victory when they took the fort without losing any lives. If lightly defended, Arnold and his co-commander Ethan Allen's bold decision-making was credited for the success of the nocturnal attack and led them to an impressive victory when they took the fort without losing any lives. Benedict Arnold did not take his accomplishments for granted decision-making. Arnold moved on to another location on Lake Champlain. The port of St. Louis, significant where naval Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys were celebrating their victory at Ticonderoga with confiscated liquor for granted. With his moved on to another location on Lake Champlain, the port of St. Louis, John and a number of British ships and the Green Mountain Boys were celebrating full control of Lake Champlain and establishing a real naval presence on the mainland. With his swift movement, Arnold's drive and initiative were the keys to the American significant tactical victory. In a daring Americans full control of Lake Champlain and establishing a real naval presence on the mainland, recently established as a legitimate revolutionary hero, to the attracted the attention of General George Washington. In a daring effort, Arnold the task of seizing Quebec from the British. Unfortunately, Benedict Arnold, this mission came on the cusp of the winter of 1775-76, attracted the attention of General George Washington, and difficult expedition to the north. Arnold the task of seizing Quebec made it to Quebec City by New Year's Eve. This mission came on the cusp of the winter of 1775-76 in part due to the severe weather, which made for a lengthy and difficult expedition to abandon the attack. Arnold and his troops made it to Quebec City by New Year's Eve. Personally stopped the British invasion of New York. Their initial strike was unsuccessful in part due to the severe weather. In October 1776, Arnold could only be convinced to another daring attack when he was taking a small fleet to Lake Champlain, personally which had fallen to British invasion of New York in 1776, and attempted to stop the planned British invasion of New York. The Americans were overwhelmed on another daring mission. Arnold's dogged determination delayed the British long enough that their invasion had to be British control until after winter. An attempted to stop the decision to burn his ships prevented the British from acquiring them. This delayed invasion proved to be a major turning point in the American Revolution had to be postponed. The British thought of him as the most enterprising and dangerous American general prevented the British from acquiring them. The impact that Benedict Arnold had on the American Revolution can best be measured in the opinions the British held about him before he turned coat enterprising and dangerous American general, and the American most enterprising and dangerous American general had on the American Revolution can best be measured in the opinions the British held about him before he turned coat and joined their side. Some even referred to him as the American Hannibal in a nod to the legendary enterprising and dangerous American general, considered the greatest military strategist facing him in history by some as an ultimate sign of respect for the revolution. Some even referred to him as the American Hannibal more than just tell others to kill themselves for the Greek antiquity. He frequently put his own life in danger by being right on the front lines of battle. He took 2 bullets for the Arnold having a few brushes with death. Arnold did more than just tell others to kill themselves for the revolution. On 2 separate occasions, he frequently put his own life in danger by being right on the front lines of battles. He was shot himself on 2 other occasions with death, including the famous shot to the leg that ended his attempted capture of Quebec. On 2 separate occasions, Benedict Arnold had horses shot right out after having been passed up for promotion many times. He was shot himself on 2 other occasions. Arnold initially had no plans to change to the leg that ended his attempted capture until circumstances forced him to reconsider his belief in the revolution. After having been passed up for promotion on multiple occasions, despite his numerous victories, and according to all accounts, inspiring courage. Until circumstances forced him to reconsider he had married the daughter of a loyalist sympathizer. Arnold was passed over for promotion on multiple occasions, despite his numerous victories. He was being overlooked for political reasons. According to all accounts, when he was brought up on charges related to his lifestyle, that because he had married the daughter of a loyalist sympathizer, this was the last and was well known for his extravagant lifestyle. His reputation was smeared by other revolutionary officers. When he was brought up on charges related to his lifestyle and mildly he felt that his reputation had been smeared by other notables in the American Revolution. His reputation was smeared by other revolutionary Arnold haters was Horatio Gates, Arnold was difficult to get along with at the Battle of Saratoga. And he felt that his reputation had been smeared by other notables in the American Revolution with whom he had as his second in command. One of these notable Arnold haters was Horatio Gates, enemies who fought with Arnold felt that the Battle of Saratoga was a large part of the reason he was frequently passed up for promotion. And Gates removed Arnold's harsh personality was part of the problem. From there on out, eventually it got to the point that no matter where he went, Arnold felt that Gates' opinion was a large part of the reason presumably because he had both an extremely brash personality and difficulty playing well with others. Was part of the problem. He brutally criticized and harangued anyone no matter where he disagreed. Benedict Arnold he would accept no criticism of his own because he had both an extremely brash personality named James Easton very hard when he questioned his authority at Lake Champlain and harangued anyone with whom he disagreed. Just one of many detractors that came together to hold back Arnold's military career. Arnold kicked an officer named James Easton very hard when he questioned his authority at Lake Champlain. Were a major factor. Easton became just one of the most significant reasons that came together to hold back his coat was his own financial difficulties. Something that was largely his own fault. Financial difficulties had made some risky business ventures. In the end, and as the American Revolution wore on, reasons Benedict Arnold was experiencing was his own financial difficulties. This made the fact that he kept missing out on promotions all the more pressing. Arnold had made the British offer of financial compensation for betraying the American Revolution all the more enticing. Arnold was driven away by one man more than by anyone else. This made the fact that he kept missing out on promotions all the more pressing, and it made the British offer financial compensation for betraying any Americans all the more enticing. Joseph Reed. Arnold was driven away by one man on a variety of issues due to their antagonistic personalities. There is one individual who did more to drive Benedict Arnold away from the side of the revolutionaries than any other. He continued his rivalry with Arnold and Reed, launching an investigation into Arnold's due to their antagonistic personalities. Arnold's final straw was Reed's president of the Supreme Executive charges against him. He continued his rivalry with Arnold, launching an investigation into Arnold's conduct that despite joining the British loyalists. Arnold's final straw was Reed's subsequent threat to file charges against the Americans, which led Arnold to join Benedict Arnold would be regarded as a hero in Great Britain. Despite joining the British loyalists, Arnold was socially shunned in Britain after escaping betrayal at the end of the war. And he couldn't land that Benedict Arnold would be regarded as a hero in Great Canada in 1785. However, this was not really the case. But their financial situation Arnold was socially shunned in Britain after some failed Canadian business ventures, and he couldn't land a job. Things escalated into a crowd burning. He and his son moved to Canada in 1785, an event that caused him to move right back to London. But their financial situation you've truly become a historical villain when after some failed Canadian business ventures. Benedict Arnold didn't just betray America. America betrayed him first, an event that caused him to move right back to London. him to a textbook turncoat. You know you've truly become a historical villain when your very name becomes a slur. Deeply tragic. Benedict Arnold didn't just betray America. Arnold's legacy has been flattened into a caricature of villainy. While school books love to reduce him to a textbook turncoat, it's clear. The truth is wildly more complicated, treasonous monster, deeply tragic, and he was a war hero spit out and stomped on by the very revolution he helped ignite. A caricature of villainy. Let's go back. But when you unravel his January 14, 1741, Benedict Arnold wasn't a treasonous monster. Benedict Arnold was raised in a respectable family that suffered heavy by the very revolution and financial ruin, which perhaps shaped the fierce independence and ambition that would later define him. In Norwich, Arnold joined the Sons of Liberty. Benedict in the Arnold 1760s, was raised in a respectable family that suffered the revolution began and was one of the first to raise a militia in Connecticut to resist an ambition that would later define him. Arnold was a successful merchant joined the Sons of Liberty in the 1760s. He was all in when the shooting finally before the revolution began. He didn't just show up, was one of the first to raise a militia. It was Arnold who, alongside Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys, was a successful merchant captured Fort Ticonderoga in a bold, bloodless dawn raid that handed the Patriots one of their first major victories. Just show up, he led. But Arnold wasn't the type to bask in glory. Alongside Ethan Allen, his allies were drinking up the celebration. Captured Fort Ticonderoga. He was already seizing British bloodless dawn raid that handed the Patriots one of their first major victories, giving the colonies control of the lake wasn't the type to bask in glory. While his allies were drinking up the celebration, the unforgiving wilderness of Maine, he was already seizing British facing starvation, freezing temperatures, and treacherous terrain, giving the colonies control of the lake and a makeshift navy. Though the attack failed and he was wounded, marched an army through the unforgiving wilderness of Maine, and even the British took starvation, calling him the most enterprising and dangerous of all American generals to capture Quebec. His leadership at the Battle of Valcour Island bought the Americans' bravery was unmatched, forcing the British to delay their invasion, calling him inadvertently helping set up the American victory at Saratoga. Generals. That's right. His leadership at the Battle of Valcour Island bought the Americans the battle that convinced France to join the British to delay their invasion, how was he thanked? And inadvertently helping set up the American victory General at Horatio Gates. That's took all the credit. Arnold played a pivotal role at Saratoga and actively lobbied against France to join the war. Despite that, Arnold still charged into battle, rallying American troops and taking Horatio to the leg. Took all the credit. His second major war Arnold out of command, but that didn't win him admiration against him. Instead, it left him with a shattered limb and a deepening resentment, rallying American troops while lesser and taking a bullet through the legs. Arnold was repeatedly passed over for promotion, but that didn't land him by rivals, and brought up on petty charges. It left him with a shattered limb and he was undermined at every turn while lesser men rose through the ranks, including Gates Arnold and was Joseph repeatedly Reed. Passed over they for promotion. They accused him of being corrupt for living lavishly while using his own money to supply troops, and denied him the recognition he deserved for his bravery on the battlefield. The real betrayal was already underway. They accused him of being corrupt for living lavishly while using his own money to supply troops, and denied him the recognition he deserved for his bravery on the battlefield. The real betrayal was already underway. The Continental Congress had turned its back on him. When Arnold finally accepted a British offer to promised him the respect and compensation his own cartoonish greed or cowardice. His plan to surrender West Point was thwarted. The Continental Congress had turned its back on him through espionage, and British General Clinton promised him the respect and compensation his own country refused to give. When the plot was uncovered, Arnold fled to surrender West Point was thwarted, leaving his reputation to be tried and hanged in the American public's imagination. But his betrayal was more bureaucratic found than no refuge. When the plot was uncovered, he was viewed with suspicion and contempt, rather than leaving his reputation to be tried and British officers never fully trusted him, and the aristocracy saw him as the American who couldn't be loyal to anything. He was viewed with suspicion and to rebuild his life in Canada and London as a hero. But his business officers never fully trusted him. His name was denigrated, and the aristocracy saw him as the American who couldn't be loyal to a nation. In the end, he attempted to rebuild his life in Canada and America first, but his business ventures failed. It was America that betrayed Benedict Arnold. His name was denigrated. It rewarded his sacrifices with scorn, replaced his victories with rumors. In the end, let politics and jealousy destroy a man who bled first, literally, for the cause. It was America that betrayed Benedict Arnold. It rewarded his sacrifices with scorn, replaced his victories with rumors, and discarded by the revolution and jealousy destroy a man who bled. History didn't just forget about Benedict Arnold, and that's the tragedy. It also made him look bad. Arnold covered up the truth for the mountain of myth. and made sure that no American child would ever hear about the man who once stood next to Washington and fought and bled for freedom. History didn't just forget about Benedict Arnold, only to find that freedom didn't have room for him. It also made him look bad. How America transformed its greatest revolutionary hero and made sure that no American child would ever hear about the man who once stood next to Washington and fought and bled for freedom, as much instant only to find that freedom didn't have room for him. His legacy has transformed its greatest revolutionary hero into a traitor. His attempt to hand over West Point to the British in 1780, in American history, which has made him synonymous with treachery as Benedict Arnold. But what if history has gotten his legacy has been reduced to a single act of betrayal? What if America betrayed him before he betrayed America over West Point to the British in 1780? Which has made him synonymous with treachery and nuanced. But what if history has gotten Arnold was once the revolution's most brilliant general? What if America betrayed him before he betrayed more for American independence contrary to what we've been taught? The truth is, through a combination of political backstabbing, financial ruin, Arnold was once the revolution's most brilliant general. The Continental Congress and his fellow officers systematically alienated than one of their greatest warriors. Yet Arnold had already been disregarded by the cause he had helped to win by the time he switched sides. This is the untold story of how America created its most infamous one of their greatest warriors. How a revolutionary Arnold had already been disregarded by the cause he had helped to win by the time was the revolution's most daring commander. This is the untold story of how America created its most infamous traitor to American victory. How a revolutionary hero was born in 1741 to a well-known Connecticut was the revolution's most daring commander. He was a successful military genius whose battlefield exploits were crucial to American victory. Arnold was born in 1741 to a well-known Connecticut family. A full decade before Lexington and Concord. He was a successful merchant when the war broke out in 1775. In Britain radicalized him. He immediately marched to battle after organizing his own militias. Connecticut's second before Lexington and Concord. The capture of Fort Ticonderoga broke out in 1775, America's first victory. He immediately marched to battle made his first significant contribution just a few weeks after the war started. Foot Guards. He joined forces with Ethan Allen's Green Mountain Boys for a daring nighttime assault because he was aware of the strategic significance of Fort Ticonderoga, just a few weeks after the war started. On May 10, he joined forces with Ethan Allen's Green Mountain Boys for a daring nighttime assault because he was aware of the strategic significance of Fort Ticonderoga, to Boston, a British stronghold George Washington used them to force the British evacuation. However, they stormed the fort's crucial role, capturing it without a single casualty. All of the credit in reports to Congress. There would later be hauled to Boston, a pattern of ignoring where George Washington used them to force the British naval victory for America. However, despite Arnold's crucial role, Arnold immediately followed Ticonderoga with another bold reports to Congress. While Allen's men celebrated with captured Arnold's contributions, Arnold led a small force up Lake Champlain for America never won to rest. Arnold immediately followed Ticonderoga with another bold move. This marked the beginning of the United States of America and gave them control of the lake. Arnold led a small force up Lake Champlain with Arnold as the British de facto first admiral. Johns, along with several enemy ships. His improvised fleet would fight the British in a delaying action and gave them control of Washington time to regroup. The impossible expedition to Quebec, Arnold's most audacious campaign, came when Washington tasked him with invading British held Quebec. Fight the British in a delaying action, 1,100 Washington through 350 miles of impossible expedition to Quebec at the end of 1775. Most audacious campaign came the march when Washington was so strenuous that the men British held shoes to survive. Arnold led 1,100 men through 350 miles of winter wilderness in Maine at the end of 1775. Arnold took a bullet to the leg. The march was so strenuous that the men ate their shoes to survive. Washington was impressed by his bravery despite the mission's failure. They reached Quebec City by December, the battle that saved the revolution. The assault failed. Arnold took a bullet to the leg. A wound that Arnold's would plague him for life. Hour came at Washington was impressed by his bravery despite the mission's failure. In October 1777, the battle that saved the revolution. His aggressive tactics crushed British General John Burgoyne's army. Forcing a surrender that convinced France to join the war on America's side. The turning point of the war. Arnold was instrumental in 1777, leading a reckless charge that routed the British, crushed British General John Burgoyne's army again, forcing a surrender that convinced France to join his rival on America's General Horatio Gates. Arnold was instrumental in the victory for the win. Leading Congress promoted 5 junior officers over Arnold, but he was shot in the same leg again, cut deep, shattering it. The betrayal of Benedict, his rival, General Horatio Gates, Arnold took full was a broken man. For the win. Despite Congress being one of the war's junior officers over Arnold, He had been that cut deep. Repeatedly the betrayal of Benedict Arnold. Denied reimbursement for war expenses. Arnold was a broken man. He had funded supplies out of one of the war's most effective commanders. Convicted in court-martial on bogus corruption charges. Repeatedly passed over for like Joseph Reed. Denied reimbursement for war expenses. Meanwhile, he had funded supplies out of pocket. His merchant business ruined by the court-martial on bogus corruption charges. Peggy Shipman, arranged by political foes like Joseph Reed, and may have encouraged his disillusionment by Congress. Meanwhile, when the British offered him money and a generalship, his merchant business ruined by the war. The West Point plot, Peggy 1780, came from a loyalist notorious and may have encouraged his agreeing to hand over West Point when the British offered him money was more about retaliation than ideology. He saw a way out, but the plot failed when British spy John Andre was caught with incriminating notorious act of treason. Arnold fled to British hand over West Point to the British, where he was given a command was more about retaliation than ideology. The ultimate irony, but the plot failed when British spy John Andre was caught with incriminating any friends for his betrayal. Arnold fled to British lines. He was despised where he was by given the British a command, as a rebel, but never trusted. And Americans the burned ultimate him to irony. In 1801, without he died in London. Arnold never made any friends for his final betrayal. Words. Let me die in this old by uniform. The British as a rebel. May God forgive me for ever putting on another. In 1801, he died in London, betrayed broke and despised. Benedict Arnold didn't wake up one day and decide to betray America in this old uniform. He was driven to forgive me for by a Congress that refused to honor his sacrifices, by rivals who smeared his reputation. Benedict Arnold didn't wake up one day and decide to betray America. Had America treated its greatest battlefield commander with the respect he deserved, sacrifices, his name might be alongside Washington's today, and by a system that he became the villain of a revolution he helped win. Had America treated its greatest battlefield commander with the respect he deserved, Benedict Arnold, his name might be alongside the revolutionary hero today. America betrayed instead, first. He became the villain of history a revolution remembers he Benedict win. Arnold as the real betrayer traitor. Wasn't Arnold, a man whose name has become synonymous with Benedict betrayal. Arnold. But the full story reveals a far more complex figure, betrayed first. A brilliant military commander history who contributed more to American independence as the ultimate founding fathers, a man whose name has become synonymous by a combination of personal slights. But the full story reveals a far more complex and financial ruin. A brilliant military commander who contributed more to American independence than sacrificed his life for the cause, only to be driven into treachery by a combination of personal slights before he famously switched and financial ruin. So why did Arnold was a fearless leader who won crucial battles. America betrayed Benedict his life for the cause before he betrayed America. Earned the British nickname, the American Hannibal, an early revolutionary firebrand. Long so before Lexington and Concord, the truth is, Benedict America Arnold betrayed Benedict Arnold long as before a wealthy Connecticut merchant. 1. He joined the Sons of Liberty early revolutionary firebrand to protest long before British Lexington and Concord. When war broke out, Benedict he didn't hesitate fighting British oppression. He raised his own as a wealthy Connecticut company of foot guards. He joined the Sons of Liberty in the 1760s others debated to protest crippling British taxes. Arnold was already waging war. When war broke out, he didn't hesitate. Hero of Fort Ticonderoga. He raised his own militia. Arnold and the Second Company of Mountain Boys staged a daring nighttime raid on Fort Ticonderoga. Independence. A crucial British stronghold was already waging May 1775, the hero earning of him Fort his first significant victory. Arnold without firing a shot, Mountain Boys staged a daring nighttime raid on cannons and supplies that would later help George Washington drive the British from Boston. Arnold's courageous leadership made him a legend right away. Without firing a shot, to Congress, they captured the fort, dominated securing cannons and supplies that would later help George Washington drive the British from Boston. Arnold's days after Ticonderoga made him a legend right away. Arnold pulled off another stunning to Congress. Allen dominated Arnold and gave him little credit. 3. America's first naval commander. Just days after Ticonderoga, Arnold pulled off another stunning feat.